Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabe. I welcome you to Gametogenesis. What are the gametes? Gametes are cells specialized in sexual reproduction. They contain half the maximum number of chromosomes of the species and unite with another gamete, giving birth to a zygote with a double the number of chromosomes of the gametic cells. In human, gametes are formed by meiosis. The male gametes are the sperm cells, and the female gametes are the egg cells. What are the type of cell division that allows sexual reproduction? What is gametogenesis? Meiosis is the type of cell division that allows sexual reproduction, since it reduces to a half the number of chromosomes of the species, making possible combination of the two gametes to form a new individual. In some beings, meiosis creates haploid gametophytes that, by means of mitosis, generates the gametes. Even in this case, the function of meiosis is the same: to provide cells with half the number of chromosomes of the species with the separation of the homologous. Gametogenesis is the name given to the process of gamete production. What is the name of the cell capable of making gametes? What is the ploide of these gamete-forming cells? The cells that form gametes are germ cells, as opposed to somatic cells. The ploide, or the number of chromosomes of the germ cells, is the same as the somatic cells. Only during the formation of gamete, meiosis occurs, and the number of chromosomes is reduced to a half. What are gonads? What are the male and the female gonads in humans? Gonads, these are organs that produce gametes. They contain the germ cells that undergo division and generate gametes. In the male gonads are the testes. The female gonads are the ovaries. Indicating the name and the respective ploide of each involved cell, how can formation of sperm cells from the germ cell be described? The formation of the sperm cells, or spermatogenesis, begins with a germ cell called spermatogonia, which is diploid, that suffer mitosis and gives birth to spermatocytes, one, which are still diploid. The spermatocyte 1 undergoes meiosis 1, generating two spermatocyte 2, which are haploid. That then undergoes meiosis 2, producing spermatids, 4 spermatids, which are haploid. Each spermatid undergoes maturation, process called spermiogenesis. The first sperm cells appear. What is the difference between spermatogenea and spermatocyte 1? The male germ cell are the spermatogonia. They are diploid cells situated in the testicles. They mature and by means of mitosis give birth to spermatocytes 1, which is also diploid, that will undergo meiosis. What is the difference between spermatocyte 1 and spermatocyte 2? Spermatocyte 1 is diploid. It undergoes the first division of meiosis, meiosis 1, originating to spermatocyte 2, which are haploid. What is the difference between spermatocyte 2 and spermatids? Spermatids are products of secondary division of meiosis. That's meiosis 2. In the male gametogenesis, each spermatocyte 2 originates 2 spermatids. Total of 4 spermatids for each spermatocyte 1 enters meiosis. What is the difference between spermatids and sperm cells? What is the name of the transformation of spermatids into sperm cells? Sperm cells, the male gametes, are matured spermatids that have already undergone differentiation, appearance of the flagellum, reduction of the cytoplasm, formation of the acrosome, increase the number of mitochondria. This differentiation process is called spermiogenesis. What is the acrosome of the sperm cell? How is it formed? The acrosome is a structure that contains great number of digestive enzymes. It is located at the anterior end of the sperm cell and it is formed by union of Golgi apparatus vesicles. The function of the acrosome is to release the enzyme when the sperm cell meets the egg cell, to break the external covering of the female gamete, thus making fecundation possible. What is the function of the flagellum of the sperm cell? How is it formed? The flagella of the sperm cell is made by centrioles that migrate to the region posterior to the nucleus. Its function is to promote locomotion towards the egg cells. Why is the cytoplasm of the sperm cell very reduced? Why do mitochondria of sperm cells concentrate at the base of the flagellum? The reduced cytoplasm of the sperm cell decrease the cell weight and provide more hydrodynamic shape for the locomotion or in fluids. The high concentration of mitochondria at the base of the flagellum of the sperm cell is necessary for the energetic supply of the flagellum, for it beats and moves the sperm cells. Concerning events during the period of life, how different is gametogenesis in women and in men? The formation of spermatogonia in men takes place during the embryonic development. Formation of sperm cell, however, is a continuous process that begins in puberty and goes on until old age, sometimes during all the remaining life of the man. In women, the oogonia are formed before birth. The oogonia turns into oocyte 1 and enter the first division of meiosis, meiosis 1. This division, however, is interrupted at prophase and continues only in puberty. After the beginning of menses, an egg cell is released during each period. If fecundated, it finishes the meiotic division. Oogenesis stops after menopause, cessation of menstrual activity, and climateric period of life begins. Indicating the name and respective ploidy of each cell involved, how can the formation of egg cells from the germ cells be described? The formation of the egg cell begins in the germ cell called oogonia, which is diploid, that undergoes mitosis to give birth to the oocyte 1, which is a diploid. The oocyte 1 undergoes meiosis 1, that however is interrupted at prophase. After puberty, during each menstrual cycle, the oocyte 1 finishes meiosis 1 and generates one oocyte 2 and the first polar body, N. With fecundation, the oocyte 2 then undergoes meiosis 2 and produces a mature egg cell, N, and a second polar body, N. What is the first polar body and how different is it from the oocyte 2? In oogenesis, the oogonium differentiates into oocyte 1, diploid, and this cell enters meiosis. After finishing the first meiotic division, meiosis 1, the oocyte 1 forms two cells, the oocyte 2, which are haploid, and the first polar body. The oocyte 2 is bigger because it gets almost all the cytoplasm and the cytoplasmic structure of oocyte 1 as a strategy of metabolite and nutrient storage. The oocyte 2 cell undergoes then the second meiotic division. The first polar body is very small and almost lacks cytoplasm. It disintegrates and stays attached to the oocyte 2. What is the relationship between fecundation and the end of meiotic process during oogenesis? The oocyte 2 only completes the second meiotic division interrupted at metaphase. If fecundation by the male gamete occurs, one can say, therefore, that in fact the female gamete is the oocyte too. What is the second polar body? After termination of the second meiotic division, the oocyte 2 cells are generated, the egg cell proper and the second polar body. The second polar body is a very small cell that almost lacks cytoplasm and stays adnexal to the egg cell. The entire cytoplasmic content of oocyte 2 passes to the egg cell. What is the relationship between the menstrual cycle and ovulation? Ovulation is the releasing of the female gamete from the ovary. Ovulation is a periodical event that occurs during each menstrual cycle, considering the first day of the menstrual cycle, the day when oocyte begins. Ovulation occurs around the 14th day, when the concentration of hormones, luteinizing hormone and follicle-stimulating hormone are high levels. How does the male gamete penetrate the egg cell? How does the female gamete protect itself from entrance of more gametes after the entrance of the first sperm cell? The sperm cell reaches the egg cell, triggers a acrosome reaction, process in which the hydrolytic enzymes of the acrosome are released to the external surface of the zona pellucida, the protective layer surrounding the egg cell. The portion of this layer is digested by the acrosome enzyme, allowing the sperm cell to reach the plasma membrane of the egg cell, carrying out fecundation. After the moment the sperm cell makes contact with the cell membrane, the chemical alteration of this membrane occurs. Enzyme secreted by exocytosis, cortical reaction, makes the zona pellucida unable to bind to other sperm cells, zona reaction, and other male gametes cannot enter the egg cell. What are the female pronucleus and male pronucleus? Female pronucleus is the proper haploid nucleus of the egg cell. The male pronucleus is the haploid nucleus of the sperm that has fecundated the egg cell. After fecundation, both pronuclei fuse, forming the nucleus of a diploid zygote. Concerning their size and basic morphology, how and why are the male and the female gametes differentiated from each other? The female gametes are big cells full of vitellous nutritive material. Male gametes are very small, mobile, and agile, flagellated cells. Those features are related to their respective biological functions. While the female gametes have the basic function of receiving the sperm cell nucleus and storing nutrients for the zygote, the male gametes have the function of active movement towards the egg cells. Thank you very much for participating in Gametogenesis. Please do like, share, and subscribe.